Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how you can crop video on your Mac without using any third-party apps. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you can read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. Now there are a lot of posts and tutorials out there that will claim to show you how to crop video on your Mac. But most of them are just for third-party apps, promoting those apps as a way to do it. And sure, you could download and use a third-party app, or you could use Apple's own Final Cut Pro to do it. So before I show you the right way to do it, let me explain why QuickTime Player won't work and neither will iMovie. In QuickTime Player, a lot of times people will tell you, oh yeah, you can crop video here, and then what they point you to is under Edit, Trim. And trimming is not cropping. That's just taking some time off the beginning and end of the video. Cropping is when you want a section of the video, like a rectangle in the middle, and you want to get rid of the things on the left, right, top, and bottom. But how about iMovie? Surely iMovie can do it. In fact, if you bring the video into iMovie and put it by itself in a timeline, there's even a tool here called cropping. And if you select that, you can select Fit, Crop to Fill, or Ken Burns. Ken Burns kind of animates it. Crop to Fill would be the way to go, and sure enough, when you select that, you can see the four corners here, and you could drag them and actually crop the video. So what's wrong with this? Well, what it does is it will enlarge the section of the video that you selected. When you go to Share and export it as a file, you will still be exporting it as say a 1080 video, which this was. So while you're zooming in on a section of a video, you're not actually going to change the dimensions of the video. It's just going to be an enlarged portion of it at the same size, in this case 1080. Furthermore, you can't change the ratio. So if I want this to be, say, square, I can't really do that in iMovie. There are some workarounds and complex ways to get that done, but for the most part you can't easily crop video in iMovie. So how do you do it? Well, you use another app that comes with your Mac, the Photos app. Now this might seem a little weird because Photos is of course for photos, but it does handle videos as well. And one of the things that the Photos app does is crop either photos or videos. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this video file into Photos. Now if I don't want to make it a permanent part of my Photos library, that's fine. I can delete it right after I export the cropped version. So I'm going to drag this in, and you can see it switches to the Imports view to show me the imported video. And I can access it there just as easily as in the library. It's really easy to see it right here. And if I double click on it, I'm now in viewing mode. So I can view the video. If I click Edit at the top right, I can now edit the video. Now most of the editing ability for videos is new in macOS Ventura. So if you have an older version of macOS, you won't see this until you update. And you can see here I've got Adjust, Filters, and Crop. So I could actually apply things like light and color adjustment here, or put it through a filter if I want. But I'm just going to use the cropping here. And with the cropping tool, I crop it just like I would crop a photo. So I can drag the corners like this. If I wait a second, it'll kind of zoom into that area. But I could also push out with the corners like that. I could revert to original anytime I want. I can also go and select an aspect ratio. So for instance, if I want it to be square, I can actually select that, and now the corners will adjust but locked as a square. So now I can adjust and get the exact area I want. And then it will zoom into that so I can see it clearer. So let's say this is what I want to crop it to. I'll just click Done, and now when I view the video in Photos, it's square. But I can also export from Photos. The easy way to do that is simply drag and drop. And if I drag and drop to a Finder window, or in this case just the desktop, I end up with my new video here. If I double click on it and open it up in QuickTime Player, I can see it is indeed square. And if I go to Window and then Show Movie Inspector, I can see the dimensions here, 776 by 776, square, and clearly cropped down from the 1080 that the original video was. So it's actually showing the video pixel for pixel in this new file here. So true cropping of the video. Now you can also go to File and then Export. If you export unmodified original, you're going to get the original back. But if you export the video here, then you get movie quality options. So this is where you want to be careful. In general, you want to select the highest one, and that will give you the result we saw before, where you get the new cropped video saved in the exact pixel dimensions of your crop. If you go to something lower, then what you may get is something that has fewer pixels in it. So if I say I want it 48p here and then I export to the desktop, I'll get this new video here. If I open this up and go to the movie inspector, you can see I got 480 by 480 this time. So the general idea is to select something higher than your vertical resolution, and then you'll just get the actual vertical resolution. If you select something lower, it's going to shrink it down, which may be useful, but probably in most situations you want the video in the exact size in which you cropped it. And that's it. Now that you've done that, you could find that video in your library here, and I'm just going to hit the delete key and delete it there so it's not a part of my library anymore. If, of course, this video was originally in your Photos library, then it makes it a lot easier because you can just go right to the cropping. You don't have to import it and you don't have to delete it when you're done. And that's how you do it. Just use the Photos app that comes with your Mac. Even if you're not using the Photos app for anything else, you can just use it for this, for temporarily bringing in videos, cropping them as you want, and exporting them again. Hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.